Okay, so we're going to start off with inventory. Can everybody see the screen? Can anybody see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let's start with inventory. So inventory is commonly
Yes, we
known
can.
as stock. Okay. Merchandise currently held by a business to resell with the aim of earning a profit. Inventory can be categorized in three different ways, which is raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. A business will use inventory register to manage their stock. Running low on stock means that they cannot meet the demand and will lose revenue. On the other hand, keeping too much stock will lead to tying up capital. Inventory is measured at the lower of cost or net realizable value. That means when we record it on our financial statements, we can record it at lower of cost or net realizable value. Net realizable value is the estimated selling price less estimated cost associated with the product to make the sale. So there's two types in your curriculum. You will get a perpetual and a periodic. Now people often get this mixed up. So perpetual means continuous. The meaning of perpetual means continuous. So if you go into macro and you ask macro, how many packets of Lay's chips do you have in sour cream? They will just press a button and say to you 75 packets. Under periodic system, if that is like a spaza shop. If you go into a spaza shop and you ask the owner, how many packets of Lay's yellow chips do you have? He will tell you, hold on. And he will go and count on the shelf. He goes and count in the back in the storeroom, opens up boxes and he starts counting and he'll tell you 78 after an hour. That's the difference between the two systems. Okay? So perpetual keeps track of inventory balances in real time. Exactly like I said to you now in macro, just press a button. Inventory account is used at all times under perpetual system. So they don't have to tell you in the exam what system they're using. If you see that they're classifying it as inventory, the word is actually inventory, no? But I say inventory. Because when I had to study, it took too long to say inventory. Okay, inventory account is used and the control of inventory records, and it's a very expensive system to implement. In a periodic system, you imagine a spaza shop. They don't keep track in real time. They have a mental tracking system or a black book tracking system. And in this, a purchases account is used and it is not recorded as inventory. Only at year end, after they've done the physical count, they will then record the cost of sales is recorded that time. Okay, and inventory at the end of the year. Okay, any questions on this? Any questions? Now move on.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you calculate cost of sales? You take your inventory at the beginning of the year. You add your purchases of 10 Rand. You deduct your closing inventory and you get your cost of sales. I see his hands up. MD, can unmute. There's another hand, Tabu. Got a question? Our moderators, are they unmuted?
Yes, they are all
They
unmuted.
are. They need to unmute themselves.
Zipporah, your question? Yes, MD. We're applying the 5-second rule here. And if you don't talk in 5 seconds, and then you
Hi,
go.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, with regards with the calculation, there is this calculation and the other one that is opening inventory, the purchases plus the sales plus minus purchase returns minus closing inventory. Which one is the correct one?
This is a cost of sale inventory. This is a cost of sale.
And then, ma'am, isn't that one also cost of sales?
No,
Okay.
I'll get that in the book now, then I'll show you. Okay, but we are calculating the cost of sales now. Okay, Mala, Mona Clay, Handsome, want to say something? Nothing.
Yeah, their mics are all unmuted, Aziza. I don't know why they're not speaking.
Okay, let me continue.
Oh, let me
So-
see. Hold on, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay.
Handsome, your mic is unmuted. Oh, he left. Okay, you
Yes.
can carry on.
Lindo, do you want to say something? Okay, periodic inventory formula. I want you now to calculate the closing inventory of ABC traders. If purchases is 200, cost of
Please
sale.
share your slide, Aziza.
Can you not see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Oh, now I can. Thank you.
I want you now to take out a pen and put it in the chat. Calculate the closing inventory of ABC traders, where purchases is 200 Rand, cost of sales is 220, inventory is 100. Okay, and then you put your answer in the chat for me quickly.
We've got hands up.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask for clarity. So it's your opening inventory plus your purchases minus your closing inventory equals your cost of sales.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, the people that got 80 Rand, how did you get the 80 Rand?
May I explain?
Please do.
So, ma'am, I said 200. I said 100. I said 200 plus 100 minus 220. And then I
Okay,
got 8.
let's see if he's right. Opening inventory was 100. Just putting it here. Purchases was 200. And my cost of sales was 220. So is your closing inventory 100 plus 200 is 300 minus 220 is yes. So do you see what he done here? We plotted the missing figure, okay? Because in this question, I asked you what is cost of sales. And in this question, I asked you what is closing inventory. So when you get stuff like this, and you know one formula, you start plotting it. Is everything clear? I see his hands up again. Mapaka? Lucia? Guys, come, you must talk if your hand is up. Kimoketsu.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I seem to be a bit lost. Can we please kindly discuss that formula again? I don't get how they got to that money.
80 Rand.
Yes, and the the 80 rands.
I said here, to calculate cost of sales, the formula is inventory at the beginning of the year, add purchases, less closing inventory, equals your cost of sales. So now we said the purchases was 200. We put the purchases in. We put the opening inventory of 300. 300 minus 80 is 220. And that's the cost of sales that we plotted there. You with me?
Yes, I am.
No, we're not. I'm not.
Zamatusi, it's 300 minus 220 is 80, not 400. I don't know where you got 400 from. 200 plus 100 is 300. I'll re-explain. Kevin, what is your question?
Good evening once again. I wanted to understand the 80 rand part because you said it's 300 minus 220, right?
Yes, it's 80.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Remember, we're looking for the missing number here.
Yes. Oh, here at the less closing inventory.
Yes, because they didn't give us that one. If they didn't give us purchases, that would be the missing figure.
Okay. Thank you.
MD, Patricia, Mona Clay.
Yes, as it's okay. So the one before me, that's fine. You can go.
Good evening, class.
Evening.
I just wanted to understand here on the periodic inventory formula. Just those numbers, the 5, 10, 4, 11. Do we have to use them or for in case?
Sorry, I missed your question. Just repeat it again.
No, I meant those numbers 5, 10, 4, and
I
11.
gave
What
that
are
as an
they for?
example. That was the first example that I gave. I just plotted this here next to it so that you could see where I'm plotting it from this example. This was an example on its own.
Oh, okay. So we are not supposed to use those numbers.
No, this was the first example that I gave you, so I asked you to calculate the second one for me.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Let's go to the BAE. Right. So if I say under a perpetual system, Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cakes for cash. The cost of sales was 1,200 rand. How do I debit this and how do I credit that? I'll give you 2 minutes to think about it. Just everybody lower their hands quickly. And then if you know the answer, then you raise your hand. This is Kevin's business, eh? Okay. There's somebody, I think is Ranilwe. Ranilwe,
Ma'am, can you please repeat?
can you see the screen here? Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cakes for cash. The cost of sales was 1,200 rand.
Is it not 3,800, ma'am?
No, I want you to tell me what are we going to debit in this and what are we going to credit?
Oh.
So we've got a hand, LK.
Okay.
All right, we can move to our.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Yes, Chairperson, I'm a bit lost because I just joined this meeting, ma'am. I cannot be able to stay any longer. I just wanted to find out about the recordings, whether they will be recorded so that I can come back and reference it because I'm in another session now.
This is recorded, the session.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to find out secondly, ma'am, sorry about disrupting your class, ma'am. I just wanted to find out what is the actual arrangement of classes because now it's been messy around this entire week.
The arrangement is on a Tuesday and a Thursday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes, and Saturdays is discussion classes where we do examples. Are you in our WhatsApp group?
Okay. And
Okay,
no, ma'am.
Okay, if somebody can just post the WhatsApp link there at the bottom in the chat, and then you can join, and we'll communicate on the WhatsApp group when there's classes, the Tuesdays and the Thursday classes, and the Saturday. Okay.
All right. We've got the first one's hand up. I can't see the name. I've disabled your mic. Yeah, there we go. You can speak.
Good evening, guys.
Evening.
Yes, I think we debit bank for 1,200 and then we credit sales for 1,200.
Is that correct? Doesn't look right to me. CS, do you want to comment on that? Is 1,200, if Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cake, is 1,200 going to come through his bank account?
No, it's not.
Oh. Ruben, what do you say?
I don't know what I'm doing here. The sales will be credited with 500, with 5,000. You might sell for 5,000 rand, and this is where I get lost now. The bank will be credited with 1,200 because I will give that, and it will be debited with 3,800. Or should I
No.
subtract it?
That's not how we do accounting.
Can we ask neighbor to give the hands that are up a chance, please?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't spoke out of my own will. Aziza asked me to answer, and my hand was up.
His hand was up, yeah. He was after
And I
another
prefer
person.
that you follow the class.
Okay, let's continue. Who knows the answer to this? CS, do you know the answer?
Ma'am, won't bank be debited and then sales will be credited?
With how much is the question?
Oh, with how much?
Guys, if you got a business and you are selling something for 5,000 rand, why would the person not give you the 5,000 rand? Why would 5,000 rand not go through my bank account? If you can answer that. If you're selling something, the person must give you the money for 5,000. So you're going to debit the bank with 5,000, not so? And we're going to credit sales with 5,000. Let me just want to move up here. This is where it sits here.
No, ma'am.
So my bank, 5,000 is going to come into my bank. You can see there's a plus there. Sales is going to be
Excuse me, ma'am.
5,000. Yes.
Can you go back to the example question?
The question
The
was
one that-
just that
the one
Kevin
that for-
sold cakes for 5,000 rand and 1,200 was his cost. My screen is now frozen. What is going on here? Yeah. There. Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cakes for cash. The cost of sales was 1,200 rand. So do you agree with me that we're going to debit the bank with 5,000 and credit our sales account with 5,000?
Yes.
Yes.
Who disagrees
Ma'am?
with me?
We agree.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am?
Yes. You can call me as
Kevin
Izana.
sold 5,000 weight of cakes for cash. Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
Ma'am, I think the thing is that I think we overthought the amount of numbers that were in the sentence. But I understand because cost of sales is how much
Pay.
it cost out of you to produce the goods.
So what do I do with the 1,200 now?
Ma'am,
Sorry.
can we
I'm not
give the
sure.
ones that have raised their hands a chance?
Okay. Tiyusu.
Guys, please
Then
unmute yourselves.
Oh,
Tiso, please unmute yourself.
Good evening.
okay, thank you.
So
Good
the
evening.
I thought it's
David,
Ntiso who's supposed to talk. Oh, thank you. So according to my own understanding, I think we are going to debit the purchase, which was 5,000 rand, and then we are going to debit the bank, which is also the 5,000 rand credit. I mean, I don't know if
no,
I'm wrong or
we already established that we're gonna debit the bank and credit the sales. We
oh,
already
sorry.
established that. That is right. That is right. So my next question, and if you don't know the answer to this next question, lower your hand. What am I going to do with the cost of sale now? Lower your hand if you don't know that question. We're only going to talk to people who know the answer.
won't you remove that amount from your bank? So won't your bank debit?
So you want to debit the bank with 1,200 rand less?
Yes.
No. Next person, anybody else that knows it?
We will debit cost
Ma'am,
of sales.
we are doing this.
Thank you. Debit cost of sales. And what are we going to credit?
It's inventory.
Thank you.
the purchase. Oh.
No, not purchases, not purchases. We are going to credit my
It's inventory since we are using perpetual.
Yes, but my inventory is getting less. Can you see here? When I sell my inventory, I had 5,000 rands worth of stock or 1,200 rands worth of stock. It's getting less now. Therefore, I'm crediting my inventory. Cost of sales sits here. It's an expense. Let's just add it here. Therefore, we debit our cost of sales and we credit our inventory. Does it make sense now? Does it make sense? Is everybody clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Who's not clear? Palusa, Mavula, do you have a question? Mona Clay? Madinga?
Please take the slide to the question, to the answers.
Yeah, the slide is here by the answers. People, your hands are up, but you're not talking.
So I want to know. So we debit what? The cost of sales.
Yes, with 1,200 and you credit your inventory. In a perpetual system, there will be 4 transactions. Not 2. There will be 4. 2 debits and 2 credits. Because we have to account for the money that came in. We have to account for the sales, to record our sales, and we have to account for the cost of sales and to reduce my inventory. Otherwise, my inventory is going to show on the books that it's 5,000 and then people want to come and buy and then we don't have the inventory in stock. That's why we reduce it. That's why, remember earlier I spoke about, it's not a manual system, it's a computerized system. This won't happen in a spaza shop. He's not going to go and take his inventory off the stock list now in his manual bookie. Does this make sense? Or you people just give me a thumbs up or you can just shout out that you understand it.
I understand.
Good day, ma'am. Can you kindly repeat that again?
just one more last time, please.
I said Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cakes for cash. His cost of sales on that cake was 1,200 rand. Meaning the cost of sales was your eggs and your flour and your whatever, right? So when somebody came and purchased this cake, they gave him the 5,000 rand. That was now common sense. Therefore, he debited his bank and the 5,000 came in his bank. We had to recognize the sale of 5,000 rand. Therefore, we credit the sale. You have to debit your cost of sales because the flour and the eggs and the sugar is an expense. And we have to credit the inventory because he has now got 1,200 rands worth of cake, less cakes in his business. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm confused. No.
Does anybody else want to explain it, perhaps?
Yes, can I please try, ma'am?
Okay.
Can I please try? Can I please try?
Yes, you can go ahead and try.
Okay. Maybe first we need to start by analyzing the transactions that are affected by these transactions. We need to identify the which accounts are affected by this transaction. For instance, Kevin sold 5,000 worth of cakes. So if we say we sold something, then it means there is an income there. And also we sold from the stock, definitely the stock is affected. And also again, since there is a stock, then there's a cost of sales. And where does all this money come from and goes to? It goes to the bank. That's why when we say we sell stock worth of 5,000, then what are the two accounts affected there? It will be sales, which is an income. Then according to accounting principles, we credit sales with increases because sales are income. And then where does the 5,000 goes to? It goes to the bank. Bank it's an asset. Then what do we do with the assets when they increase? We debit them. So we're going to debit our bank as an asset because they are increasing, and we're going to credit our sales because they are income. Again, these things affect our stock again. What is happening to our inventory? Our inventory is decreasing, and our inventory, it's an asset. What do we do with asset when they decrease? We credit asset with decreases, and cost of sale is treated like an expense. So what do we do with our expenses? Expenses are always debited. I think that simplifies it, ma'am.
Yes, 100%. Do you understand now?
We are clear, ma'am.
Clear. Okay, see that you said it's clear now. So let's test you now. Clear it is. So Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cake to Mr. Satile on credit.
Sorry, ma'am. So you see, under sales, that's why I was confused. Like, how much do we put on the credit side? That's why I'm still lost. The debit side, I now got it, but the credit side, that's I'm confused.
But if you sold 5,000 rands cake, why don't you want to put 5,000 rand worth of cake?
So to just help him there, it's been said that what you do on the debit side, you do on the credit side. So you need to record it as well as 5,000 rand.
Okay, thank you.
Otherwise, it's not going to balance. Okay, so let's move on. So Kevin sold 5,000 rands worth of cake to Mr. Satili on credit. What do we do now with this transaction? You can lower your hands if you don't know the answer, and you can raise your hands. Yes.
Are we gonna debit trade and other receivables?
Mr. Satile, right?
Yes.
Not trade and other receivables because we're big people now.
Okay.
And then we're gonna credit what?
Then we're gonna credit sales.
Correct. Is it the same lady that you didn't understand earlier?
Yes, ma'am, because I was asking about the calculation. I had two calculations and I wasn't sure which one was the correct one.
Okay, and then what are you going to debit your cost of sales? Same story. 1,200, and we're going to credit my inventory.
Inventory.
Does everybody get this? The only
No, ma'am,
difference.
please repeat. Ma'am?
Yes.
Can you please repeat?
Okay, the difference between these two, we cannot take it through the bank because Mr. Satile didn't pay. So we are only raising the debtor here by debiting Mr. Satile's account. He didn't pay nothing. Okay. Mangoba, any question? Understand?
I'm a little here.
Yes.
Where is that 1.2?
Here's the 1.2. Can you people see my screen? They showed you people last night how to make the screen bigger on your side. Can you see my screen? Pinte, you got a question?
No, ma'am, I lowered my hand, sorry.
Okay, there's still one hand up. Whose hand is that? Mankoba, are you sorted?
Yes, I'm sorted, ma'am. I'm
Okay,
just saying
please
what.
lower your hands. Is there still somebody? There's still two hands up, Demi and Madinga. What is the question?
Ma'am, it's Matinga. I'd like to know, ma'am. Okay, so these we debited the first one. We debited the 5,000 into the bank, and then we credited. And then the second one, we debited the cost of sales, and then we credited the inventory. So
Yes.
these four transactions, do they go under one T account, or do we make two separate
You
T
make
accounts to
two.
accommodate?
There will be four accounts, 4 T accounts. One for bank, one for sales, one for cost of sales, one for inventory.
Okay, ma'am, there's going to be four accounts. Each account of these four will have one transaction, one on the side, like one double entry for each of the four transactions.
You will have a T account like this. Let me just show you.
Can I talk now?
You can talk in the meantime while I'm just busy drawing a T accounts quickly. So that you can
So
see.
is your inventory your trading stock?
Yes. So you will have 1 year that says bank, and you will have 1 year that says sales. You will have it, here will be your debit. Here will be your credit. Here will be your debit. Here will be your credit. So under bank, we'll have 5,000. And under credit, we will have 5,000. Then you will have another two, one for cost of sales and one for inventory.
Oh, all right.
You see the T account now?
Yes, I see it, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll get to T accounts.
I can't see the T accounts.
Can you see the T accounts? Some people can see it and there's something wrong with your side of the screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes.
I'm even
Ma'am.
bolding it.
Ma'am, I can see the two T accounts, but for the 5,000 one on the credit side, shouldn't there be an amount because what happens on this side happens on that side? Or we separating?
Is it happening on that side and it's happening on this side?
Oh, sorry, I assumed that the transaction would happen on this side, on one T account. So I understand now that we have to make two.
I see what you are saying. On this side of bank will be all inflows, right? That's why you're mixing yourself up. On this side will be outflows, right? So say I say to you, he paid rent. Then the rent will be on the credit side. And then we'll have another T account here called rent. But we'll get to that. I see why
Okay.
you're getting mixed up. But this is how you will do a T account. But I will show you the bigger picture when we do T accounts.
Okay,
I
ma'am.
think I'd probably do the T accounts with you on Saturday also.
Okay, I
I
understand.
just want to teach you inventory in terms of how to debit and credit your inventory.
Okay, ma'am. I understand, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Satile, not Mr. Satile, where's my books now? Okay, so assumingly now you use a periodic system.
Ma'am, sorry, I'm confused. Okay, I understood the first one, where Kevin sold 5,000 worth of cake and the cost, the cost of sales was 1,200. But now you added to Mr. Stolle credit. I'm now confused because now I see, I don't understand.
The second example was Mr. Satile bought it on, he bought it on credit. He sold it on credit to Mr. Satile, so we can't debit bank. That's why we're debiting Mr. Satile's account. Let's just put here trade receivables. Or debtors, as you people know it, the older people. You heard me now?
Okay, maybe just repeat. You are saying, who's, okay, Kevin bought on credit or Mr. Sitole?
Kevin has the business. Kevin sold cakes. Mr. Satile came in there and Mr. Satile wanted to buy on credit because he didn't have the money to buy. The first customer had the money, he paid cash. The second customer was Mr. Satile, he didn't have the money. So he paid 5,000 Rand.
Okay,
he didn't pay the 5,000 Rand. That's why we're debiting trade receivables. It's like when you go to Fishini, they just debit your account.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay, now let's look at the periodic system. So Kevin sold 1,500 Rands worth of cakes for cash. The cost of sales was 100 Rand. What do we debit now and what do we credit?
Please repeat the question.
We debit, we're going to debit 1,500 Rand to the bank.
Ma'am, we can't see the question.
And then we're gonna credit inventory.
Yes, people, why is it that you can't see the question? Can the rest of the people see the question? Are you on a phone?
Take the screen down.
Somebody explained last night, I don't know who explained last night how to make your screen on your phone or on your laptop so that you can see
No,
my
it's not
question.
small. It is down. It's not small font. The font is big enough. It's just that.
You can move
Sorry.
the screen. You can move the
Rotate the
screen.
screen.
So move the screen to
Michael?
where she's typing.
You can rotate your device as well.
Okay, let's continue. The lady was saying, what are we crediting?
Inventory.
Who agrees with her? Who disagrees with her?
We've got a hand. Let me.
So I don't disagree, and I don't agree, but I'm saying is that I didn't get the question, so I'm not able to tell whether she's correct or she's incorrect.
But can you see the
please repeat the
question?
question?
Can you see the question in,
Oh, I cannot see
line
the
81?
I cannot see the question.
Eva, can you see the question?
I believe that this is device. We can all see the question.
Okay,
Can
Kevin,
I
so
attempt, ma'am?
yes.
Okay, I see the question.
Kevin sold 1,500 of cakes.
Can I attempt,
for
ma'am?
cash. And then the cost of sale is 100 rand, meaning we're going to debit the bank 1,500 and we're going to credit the sales also 1,500. And then we're going to, on the cost of sales, we're going to inventory 100 rand.
Debit or credit?
We're going to credit. And
1,000. And then what was
100 rand. It's
And
100
then?
rand. And
Kono-
then the cost of sales debit 100 rand.
Now, why would you people do this? If we're going to credit our inventory with 1,500 rand, we're going to make our inventory 1,500 rand less. When our cost of sales was only 100 rand. Why?
Can I
Ma'am,
also
I'm
try,
not
ma'am?
on the inventory. Ma'am, I'm not the one with the crediting inventory there. I'm crediting only sales there.
Can we give the
Under
hands a
equity.
chance, please?
I want to know why 100 rand.
I
That's
also
why I'm-
want to know. I also want to know that answer. If somebody has the answer to this question and why this whole question is wrong, lower your hand and then put up your hand again if you know why this question is wrong. Let's start, Sabiso. You know why the question is wrong, Wiseman?
Yes, ma'am. I think here this is a periodic inventory system. So
Yes.
we need to
Purchases.
have an opening balance. Maybe the stock that we've purchased.
God.
Then we less the cost of the stock that we have sold in order to determine how much closing stock do we have. And also here, I think as we have sold, then we need to debit our bank and credit our sales, the first one, then for 1,500 rand. And the second one, we need to have purchases on our debit side and our inventory on the credit side for 100 rand.
Okay, and you're wrong. Mr. Madinga, why is Mr. Wiseman wrong? Susan, why is Mr. Wiseman wrong?
Where is he wrong exactly, ma'am, so we can answer?
He's altogether wrong. Kutu, why are they wrong? Why is everybody wrong? Beauty, why are they wrong?
Because purchases does not have an inventory account. They have a purchases account.
You mean periodic doesn't have a purchases
Periodic,
account?
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Just give her a round of applause. And they stingy, eh? Watch out for those people that are jealous of you. And then this debit cost of sale and credit inventory, is that right or is it wrong? Susan? Was it Susan that answered earlier? Why is the cost of sales and inventory wrong here?
Because we do not recognize inventory, we say it's purchases. Yeah, I forgot. Actually, I didn't see the periodic system on top of the question, ma'am. I'm just.
Okay, next person. Why is this wrong here?
I actually have a question, ma'am. So are we saying for perpetual, it is a purchases account, and for periodic, it is an inventory account?
Other way around.
Okay, so if it's the other way around, then I think what we've been saying is incorrect because I got confused. I knew that periodic has a purchases account, but you said the gentleman was wrong for raising the purchases account on the example.
No, I said he's right. That's why I put in purchases here. It was inventory first. So I'm asking why is this wrong here at the bottom?
Okay, so for periodic, it is purchases, so that is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So why is line 85 and line 86 wrong?
Cost of sales is an expense.
And?
And it needs to decrease on the debit side?
And that's exactly what they've got here, so why is it wrong?
There's a hand, maybe
Because we don't have an
Songezi.
inventory account.
Why won't you have an inventory account?
Oh, because it's purchases.
Because
the spaza shop owner is not going to have an inventory account. He got a manual system. So we don't recognize cost of sales and inventory during the year under periodic system. You only recognize when you take stock one day. With me. Do you see a spaza shop owner going and minusing some stock off in the bookie after he sold something?
May I please ask a clarity-seeking question?
Mm.
So for the perpetual, you said there's 4 accounts. So are you saying then for periodic, there's only 2 accounts?
There's only 2 accounts.
Okay.
Only when they do stock at year end will he recognize a cost of sale and an inventory.
Understood.
For everything that he had for the year.
Thank you. We've got hands. We've got Songezi. Okay, now it's Mr. Okay, between September and Songezi, it keeps playing up and down. Songezi, you can go.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Please lower your hand, Ruben.
Sorry, I'm all right. You already answered the question. I wanted to answer the question of the why that wasn't, but you already answered it.
Okay. All right. Is everybody, I'm sure everybody's okay now with that. Let's move on. Okay. So what happens here if this man, Mr. Satili, comes and pay 1,500 Rand on his account? I'm just trying to get to wrap your head around this concept. No? So when we do Saturday's class, I'll have a prepared question for you where you will know how you'll get it in the exams. But for now, I'm just trying to get your head around this. So if Mr. Satile paid 1,500, yes, Lorraine?
Sorry, Aziza, I just wanted to ask a question in regards to examinations. When they ask us, when they give us a question, are they gonna say which system must you use, or are we gonna just discover from the transaction?
They must
Okay,
tell you which system. Unless the
use.
system, if they don't tell you and they give you an indication that there's inventory, then you must know it's a perpetual system. If they use the word purchases, then you must know that they're talking about a periodic system.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next is Sephora.
Ma'am, if he pays, I'm not sure, but if he pays his account and then it decreases, it will decrease, and then now it's a credit.
So give me the accounts, debit what?
I'm not sure of the accounts, but I just know that we are going to, oh no, we are going to credit Mr. Sitole.
And what are we going to debit?
I'm not sure about the debit.
That's in the easiest part.
Not sure, ma'am. I'm just remembering things from high school.
Don't you like money? Don't you like money? Bank, yes. Bank. You mustn't run your own practice. No, you're going to forget to bank the money.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see how easy it's getting now? Can you see the picture? So yeah, he paid, he only recognized that he owes 5,000, but yeah, he came to pay it. So we credit in his account. So he owes now 5,000 minus 1.5, it's 3.5. And we got 1.5 through the bank. Okay, let me just see. What's this concepts? Inventory. Okay, let's move on.
No.
Yes.
May I speak?
Yes.
Okay, as you said now, we credit Mr. Sitole. Mr. Sitole, is he under what account does it fall? Is it in income?
That is his trade receivables account.
Trade receivables.
Yeah, trade receivables, Mr. Sotole, but you will call it Mr. Sotole's account under the trade receivables banner.
Kali, thanks.
Okay, let's move on. So here's an example. This thing is all in my way here. Karen slut. Let me just check the chats, because the chats seem like it's buzzing here. If you can't see the question, there's obviously something wrong on your side, so maybe you must just go out and come back in again. Okay, it's no serious question. Okay, so a business started the financial year with 20,000 Rand inventory on hand. Inventory of 10,000 was purchased by the business on the 30th. Inventory of 15,000 was purchased by the business on the 31st. Inventory of 22,000 was sold by the business. Inventory of 26,000 was sold by the business. Okay? So let's just look at what it says here. So we would debit our purchases of 10,000 Rand. Don't worry too much about these entries. I'm just giving you the answers, and we're going to credit the bank because we purchased inventory for cash. When we purchase inventory for credit, we're going to debit our creditors control or our accounts payable. Okay? The inventory that we sold for cash was 22,000 Rand, and the inventory that we sold for credit in our accounts receivable was 26,000 Rand. So that is how you're going to account for it. Can you see the difference between the two? Okay. What's the matter?
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Can you please try to explain again, please?
Okay. Basically, here they're saying point number 2, inventory was purchased for 10,000 and inventory was purchased for 15,000 on credit. The one was cash and the one was credit. So basically what we just did was we split it. We went debit purchases for 10,000, credit bank. Why are we crediting bank? Because we took the money out of our bank account to pay for the purchases. When we purchased on credit, we debited our purchases account and we credited our creditors control account. Does that make sense to you? No. Okay, these hands up, Kodani.
Ma'am, can you repeat again? I still don't get it.
I need assistant, guys.
It's exactly what we did here on the previous example, where you purchase your
help.
I'm trying to help you.
No, in terms of the screen, on my screen, on the side, actually next to your slide that is opened, is sort of cropped, and I'm seeing the names of people attending, and I don't know how to remove this. Please assist.
Can somebody assist her, please? So
Click on the cropped.
The screen is cropped, and then the names on the side.
Click on the cropped side, the smaller screen, the smaller viewing. Click on it.
Okay, thank you so
Sorry
much.
to interject, but
Ma'am,
this example.
on the example. Oh,
Sorry
okay,
to
continue.
interject, but this example, this solution example 1 is actually on our unit. On our learning unit, page 8. So if you have a look at your learning unit 3, it's actually there. So page 7 and 8, you could actually look at it if you can't see it on the screen.
Tell me something. Are you people going through your learning units? If this is so foreign to you, have you gone through your learning units? I've seen in the chat that people don't even know that there's study units available in the course material. Are you people aware of the study units? Are you going through it before you come to class?
We do, ma'am. We do. And then on the, yes, she's right. I just wanted to talk about it actually before she interjected. On our study material, on the, did the screen change? Because I can't see. Okay, it says on the credit side, it says it falls under trade and other payables. Here I see creditors control.
Okay, she must have just updated the study guide from last year, but creditors control, trade and other payables.
It's one
same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. Put your hands down if you don't. What did Kodana speak now? September.
Sorry for being a nuisance. Listen, I think you know what happens now. I'm getting confused or lost because I'm thinking about the T account and I'm thinking about this, and now I see the journal entry. But when I go through it and I went through this afternoon, it totally makes sense. For each and every transaction, there must be an account. So if you see it like that, it will make much more sense. You see, because we're getting confused now, the T account, and now we see this, and where do we put this, and where do we put that?
Remember, a T account is nothing. I think it's man-made. A T account is just there for information purposes. But a T account becomes a ledger and a journal entry. It starts with your subsidiary journals, which is your cash receipts, your cash payments, your journals, journal entries, and then you create a ledger. Can you see the ledger here at the bottom? So this part here is your ledger account. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, what was the digesting?
Okay. So the key what I want you to understand tonight is just debit and credit. How to debit and how to credit. Here you can see it's a debit. Here you can see it's the format. No? You remember in sub A or grade 1, grade 2, no? We did something like leidende en bedrijvende vorm or active and passive voice. You guys remember that? The cow jumped over the wall. The wall was jumped over by the cow. You remember that story? Did you guys do that?
No.
Yeah.
No. Active and passive voice. Active and passive voice, man. In English, we done that. Right? Now, this is the same thing. It stems from that basic accounting question. We just putting it in a different format. Can you see this is the same? There's your debit, there's your credit. They just moved it around. Here's your debit, here's your credit. They just moved it around. So you just need to get your head around the actual debits and credits, and then you can put it in any journal because it stays the same. It doesn't shift. The debits and credit doesn't shift in the journals. And you just need to know which journal to put it in. Okay. Is everybody okay, slightly okay with inventory? Can we move on to depreciation? Then in the Saturday class, I will give you examples, and then it will be a smaller class, and then everybody can shout out the answers.
Ma'am, whoever's controlling the mics, ma'am, can they please be considerate of others? Because we can't raise our hands and people are just jumping in. And we are busy here struggling, but people are just jumping in and they're not taking our hands. And this other person, I don't know who or she is, but is muting our mics and we cannot even talk and we are busy struggling.
Okay, moderators, you must be on your post, eh? Okay,
yes, they must be kind. They must be.
I don't think they're doing it on purpose. Unmute all their mics at one time. All four when their hands go up, just unmute it so that they can speak.
Yes, they must be fair.
Okay, BM, what is your question? You number one.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Also the same that your guy was saying about our mic being muted. And another problem, it's very hard to understand, especially if you have an accounting background. Because every time when you try to explain why we are listening to you, there are people who have a background in accounting, they just jump in. Mostly, even when they jump in, answers they are giving you, they are wrong. when the answers are wrong, we got more confused now. You know where we were to be where we are currently. Because
Can I just
since we started, I can't hear a single thing. Everyone is jumping in and jumping out, and everyone is guessing. If they are not guessing, they just say whatever they want. So we end up not knowing what exactly is going on.
can I just interject there with you? The reason why I ask people right or wrong is to test people if they know what they're talking about. When they are wrong, you people won't shouldn't make that mistake in the exam. That is why I want them to be wrong. I don't want them to be right. I want them to be wrong so that we can call the wrong out in a good way. So and I do believe in peer learning. By the way I explain something might not be conducive to how you understand something, and a peer can sometimes explain it better. That's why I do sometimes ask other people, explain it.
I understand that, man, but unlearning something that is already out there and which is wrong, it's become so very difficult. I don't have a problem with people coming in, but at least if they were raising hand, can deal with one person at a time, then all of them want to come in and sing at the same time. Then you listen to this, no, you are wrong. Yeah, you are right. Okay. It's confusing, really. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who's got that problem. Because in this, I think 50% of us in this end up getting more and more confused. It's okay for people to talk, and it's okay for people to say answers which are wrong, then you can correct them. But if they talk simultaneously at the same time, that's where the problems start to kick in.
Okay. Okay, do you have another question, BM? Okay, Technicia Smith. You muted. Ignitia, you muted. September, you can go. You guys are all muted, but your hands are up. BM.
Sorry, I'm struggling here. You know what? What I realize now is I'm a little bit lost and very much lost, but it's my fault. I'm feeling overwhelmed now, but I realize that I didn't go through the notes properly this afternoon. So perhaps just to motivate the rest of the guys, yes, we are lost now, but if we go back to the notes tomorrow and so before Saturday, things will be a little bit clearer, because we won't be able to get all the stuff through you now in this small amount of time. But again, that emphasizes that we should be properly prepared so that we can have a background or understanding of what's happening now. Everybody's lost. I didn't have accounting as well, but I know is the stuff before. When I went through my notes, it made a lot of sense, lot more sense than it is making now.
Okay. Thanks. Phyllis, Tiwe. Your mic is muted.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask, before you go into the next slide, can you please explain the recording of the end year adjustments for the periodic system, please? Because the first half of it I understand, but when we have to do the adjustment of the end year, I get a bit confused.
Okay, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I don't want to confuse the people with adjustments and year-end adjustments.
Okay.
Otherwise, everybody's gonna get confused. Okay. I can only take another one or two people. Somgesi. Is this something that you don't understand?
No, sorry. I already asked the question.
Oh, okay. And then again, and the last person, Casey. What's he?
Okay, ma'am. I just wanted to suggest to my fellow student to say that it would only be best if you know which part we are in, especially in terms of the study material, so that when Mrs. When the madam speaks here, you are able to track. Because I think the one thing that makes us more confused is we did not actually know where we are. We did not actually know what we are doing. We're just lost.
Okay. Okay, let's just move on to depreciation. Okay, let's look at depreciation. Just open up a new sheet here. This is your Saturdays or a question, eh? Okay. So as we explained the other day, depreciation, there's two methods. It's the straight line method. And the other one is the reducing balance method. Okay. So the difference between the two is that the straight line method is on cost price of the asset. And the reducing balance method is on the carrying value of the asset. Everybody clear on that?
Please repeat that, ma'am.
The straight line method is on the cost price of the asset, and the reduced balance method is on the carrying value of the asset. So assumingly we bought an asset for 100,000, right? And we say that it is going to be depreciated by 10,000 Rand. Let's make it 10% per annum, right? So on the straight line method, we're going to say, let's just put in here 1, year 2, year 3, right? So for year 1, we are going to say 100,000 times 10%. Where's the percent now? And that will be 10,000. So it will be 10,000 right across, right? You will pay 10,000 depreciation because it is on the historical cost price of the asset. If we're doing the reduced balance method, it's 10% of the carrying value. So this is how you're going to calculate it. In year 1, you're going to say 100,000 times 10%. And that will equal 10,000. In year 2, you are going to say 100,000 minus my 10,000 of the previous year's depreciation. Right? Equals 90,000. We just put the brackets in here. Times. Where's my times? Times 10%. And so it's going to be 9,000. Right? So my carrying value, let me just put another column in here. So my carrying value at year end is going to be 91,000. Is everybody with me? Right. Calculate the carrying value for me in year 2 on the reduced balance method. I want you to calculate year 2 for me and put your answers in the chat.
We've got hands, ma'am. I think it's Kosi.
Kosi, do you want to give the answer or you're going to put it in the chat or do you want to ask a question?
KM.
KM, you want to ask a question? You can unmute.
Yes, I want to ask a question, ma'am. How did we get the 91,000 here?
100,000 minus 9,000 depreciation is 91,000. So that's my carrying value.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So now in the chat, I want you to tell me what is the carrying value of year 2.
Hello, sorry, ma'am. 9,000, it's what percentage of 100,000? Because to me, it's not making sense to get 91,000 there.
Sorry. It's 10%.
Yes, my
So
question is 9,000 is what
10,000.
percentage of
Sorry, it's
100,000?
10,000. So it's 90,000. Sorry, my mistake. Sorry. So it was 10,000 depreciation for year 1 and my carrying value was 90,000. So I needed to calculate year 2's carrying value.
Yes, year 2 will be 81,000 carrying value.
Okay, I see people do put it in the chat. Yeah, 81,000. For those that doesn't understand, for year 2, we said the carrying value is now 90,000 times 10%, and that will be 9,000. So my carrying value will be 90,000 minus 9,000 equals 81,000. Okay, I want you to do year 3 for me. Don't give me the answers online. Give it in the chat.
Aziza, there's a request on the chat.
Of year 2. Where did I get the 90,000? The 90,000 was the carrying value year, which is 100,000 of the vehicle minus my 10,000 depreciation equals 90,000. Year 2, I'm going to say 90,000 times 10% is 9,000. And then 90,000 minus 9,000 is 81,000. Here we are depreciating according to carrying value. So I want you to calculate, everybody, year 3 for me.
Linomta is asking on the group chat if you can explain it again. So I think I'm not sure from where. So maybe she should put her hand up so that we know where she's asking you to explain again from.
Please put your hand up and who's it? Is it Letabo?
I think I read Linomta. Oh, there she is. There's her hand up.
Okay, you go.
Let me see, is she unmuted?
Sorry, ma'am,
Okay.
may you please
I've allowed your mic, Linomta.
ma'am, may you please I don't know, may you please start over because I'm completely lost. I don't even know where we got the 81,000.
Okay.
Linomta, I've enabled your mic.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, is that you? Sorry. Okay, apologies.
Okay. We have an asset of 100,000 in year one, right? So we're going to pass depreciation. And what we did was we said times 10%. So it was 10,000 Rand. So we said 100,000 minus 10,000 Rand is 90,000. That was my carrying value on year one. The problem with the reduced balance method is that we are depreciating according to the carrying value as opposed to a straight line method where we are depreciating on the cost price of the asset. Okay. So year two came, our carrying value was 90,000 and we times it by 10% and we got 9,000. So we take my carrying value, which was 90,000 minus 9,000, and I'm going to get 81,000. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. What would be the journal entries for year one? What am I going to be the entries for year one? What am I going to debit and what am I going to credit? Let's do the straight line method first. Okay, there's hands up. You can go, whoever's first.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
For year one, I think. Oh, you was first. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, ma'am. Can I also assume that on page 27, the same calculations on the reducing balance method are wrong, or am I wrong?
What does it say there?
Yeah, it's so complicated.
And the other people, is it
like,
wrong?
Here, they're getting 19,000 and can just someone also assist me? On page 27, it's the same thing on the reducing balance method.
Let me just see if I've got that.
I don't think page 27 is wrong. It's just that it's calculating the amount of the depreciation, not the carrying value.
Hello. Hi.
Can you maybe share your screen with me, somebody?
Ma'am, can I interject?
Yes.
Yeah, but the learning unit the lady is talking about is they are calculating accumulated depreciation.
Okay, wait, hold on. I think I've got the learning units here. Which learning unit is it?
Learning unit 3 on page 27.
Why is this taking so long? Yeah. I think I got the wrong one. That one. Learning unit 3, you say? Page? What page?
26.
26.
$27.
27. This example of the calculation here. Okay, 100,000 is 10,000. 100 minus 10 times 10% is 9,000. 100, oh, there's a mistake here. That is a typo error. 100 minus 9,000 is 8,100. Yeah, they just calculated the depreciation here. She's not doing You see what she's adding up this year? The 10, the 9, the 8, and then she's get 27,100. You can also do it that way, but this way is gonna she's minusing your accumulated depreciation. I don't know, you can choose which method is easier. That method will make you slightly confused. I don't know what you people think, but you can choose whichever method you want. So I just take it as your 100,000 minus your carrying value, get your 90,000. 90,000 times 10% is 9,000. Then I say 90 minus 9,000 is 81,000. Then I say 81,000 times 10% is 8,100. Then I say 81,000 minus 8,100, which is 72,000 something.
72,900.
Yes.
We've got a hand, ma'am.
Yes.
DW, you can go.
Demi.
Oh no, I just forgot to take down my hand. The question I wanted to ask has already been asked.
Oh, okay.
CW.
My question was answered in the meantime.
Okay, I don't see any more hands up. Okay, let's move on. What am I going to debit for year 1 and what am I going to credit for year 1 under my straight line method? Year 1, year 2, and year 3. Anybody want to tell me? There's a hand up. You can go.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We're gonna debit depreciation and we're gonna credit accumulated depreciation. Reason being,
how much?
Depreciation for year 1 it will be 10,000 rand.
Okay. Thank you. And year 2?
Again on year 2, we've gonna debit depreciation and credit accumulated depreciation.
For how much?
I think it's 9,000 rand.
No, on the straight line, between the straight line method.
Or on the straight line, it will be 10,000 again because it's a straight line.
Yes, and year 3 the same.
Same thing applies.
Everybody understand the the debits and the credits here? Okay.
Perhaps, ma'am, if we can explain why are we debiting depreciation and credit accumulated depreciation so that it's gonna be easier.
Okay, can you explain that?
Yes, because the depreciation is treated like an expense. So that is why it's debited, and accumulated depreciation, it is the decrease on the value of an asset. So it's going to be credited because the value of an asset is decreasing.
Correct. Any questions?
Can I get clarity on the last part, sir, that you said? You said depreciation is an expense. But
yes,
what did you say about
like an expense?
Yes, so you debit it because it's decreasing, right?
Yes.
And then you said accumulated depreciation. What?
It accumulated depreciation. It's a decrease in the value of an asset. Remember that on our principle we always debit asset with increases and we credit them with decreases. So the
Sorry, please say that again. Sorry, can I take you back? Say it again. Accumulated depreciation is what?
It's a decrease on the value of an asset. So the value of an asset is decreasing.
Oh, yes. So because the car was 10,000 Rand when I bought it, and I've taken it out of the garage, and a car is an asset. So therefore, it depreciates the value of the asset. That's what you say.
Yes.
So we put it on, we credit it.
Yes, remember that assets are the increase on the debit side and the decrease on the credit side.
Okay, got you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Ma'am.
What are we going? Is another hand up? Susan?
Can I do hear what they are saying, but I lost it there when she interjected and the guy had to explain again. Can I just hear it from Mem's perspective, please, from Mem's explanation?
Okay, in year one, we're going to debit depreciation for 10,000 because the the depreciation is an expense. So the asset loses value. We're going to credit accumulated depreciation because, as you said, the asset it's the carrying value, right? And it's losing value in the asset. Therefore, we credit accumulated depreciation. Okay. Sorry, I should have been credit here. Does it make sense? Susan?
Yes, it does, ma'am.
Okay, the last question, MD, before we go on.
I got answer.
Okay, so the other gentleman answered so well. What are we going to do with the year 1, year 2, and year 3 under the reduced balance method? What are we going to debit there? Is a hand up, Morendini?
Yes, I would like to give it a try.
Okay.
In year 1, we're going to debit depreciation with 9,000 rand. I mean, with 10,000 rand.
10,000, yeah.
And then a credit accumulated with 10,000 rand again.
Yes, and year 2?
And year 2, we're going to debit the same depreciation but with 9,000 rand.
Yes.
And then credit accumulated with 9,000 rand.
Yes.
The third year, we're going to debit depreciation with 8,100. And also credit accumulated with 8,100.
Does everybody understand the difference now between the two? Does anybody understand the difference between the two now? Okay, so in a nutshell, that is inventory and